We are at Cooking by the Book, and I am here with Kent Rollins, the author of the new book, A Taste of Cowboy. Thank you so much for having me
thank
here.
Thank you, darling. It is such a pleasure for you to take the time out.
This is really about ranch cooking, simple cooking, fun cooking. Tell us a little bit about what this book is.
You know, it's ranch cooking, but all this food is found in your pantry. You don't have to run down to some store, you know, and say, I don't know what the name of this is, but I'd sure like to order some of it. It's simple stuff, but it's very hearty, wholesome meals with a little Southwest flair, because I like some of my food to bite back. You know?
Right. And so tell me a little bit about what people can do and what are the ingredients they need to buy when they're getting started on cooking Southwestern cuisine.
Well, you know, if you've got a cast iron skillet, you're ahead of the game. That's where I'd start at first. But you know, we use our seasoning a lot. Instead of just regular salt and pepper, we mix a blend, and don't be afraid to combine ingredients. I mean, we do an apricot grilled cheese sandwich. You know, now who would have thought them two would have went together? But they do. And you know, balsamic vinegar strawberry pie. So it's all been about combinations all my life, and cowboys have been the greatest experiments I ever had, because captivative audience. They can't go nowhere when they're 70 miles in.
Wonderful. So you're going to make a really fun recipe for us today. What are we making?
Chicken fried steak. I think it's called Throwdown winning chicken fried steak in that book. You know, Bobby Flay come down to a ranch we was at one time and said, hey, you cook the best chicken fried steak in the world. I said, I don't know about that, but I've had more practice than anybody else. And it got a little hot that day, and we did beat Bobby. He's a great sport. But first you have to start with a really good cut of meat. We use top or bottom round, but it's tenderized, but something that's about 4.5 to 5 ounces. There's no fat, no gristle, no nothing. We use a seasoned flour that we make, has our flour in it, but we use the golden fry first. Cast iron skillet, some good frying oil. We use a creamy fry oil at home, but you can use a canola oil, something that has a high burn temperature. You want to get at least 350 degrees and try to keep it there. Always check it with a little flour to see if we're close. We're getting close, we're not quite there. So we'll get her to going.
And talk to me about the type of flour that you use. Can it be any flour you have around the house, or is there something specific that...
We use all-purpose flour. Time you mix the seasoning with it, so we don't salt and pepper the meat per se itself. It's mixed in the seasoning. You can tell, you can see in the color of that. It's got a little of that texture. Put the meat in. We'll let her soak in there just a minute.
And tell me about the sauce that you guys have here, because
it's a powdered egg based, a little baking powder, so it'll give that batter just a little jump. A little powdered milk you mix with water.
So it's powdered milk, eggs, and water, and a little baking powder. And you're kind of dipping back and forth, back and forth.
Double dip. It's called double baptizing.
Double baptizing.
So.
And why is that so important? Is it to like really get the texture on there?
You get a really nice flaky crust, but it's thick.
So explain to me why it's called chicken fried steak, because I think everyone's looking at this and going, where is the chicken?
I've had so many people ask me through the years, where's the chicken in it? I said, it's not chicken, it's steak. Beef is what's for dinner at my house. Chicken fries the batter. That's what it refers to, is that what we're going to batter. So many people, you know, use buttermilk and egg or milk and egg for years. We just fix this to take the place so it stays on there a little more. Going to make your meat look a whole lot bigger than what it is, and it's going to give it a good golden brown crust. And I like to hear that sizzle.
Yeah, so it's important that your oil is hot, because otherwise this will not work.
Yeah, and anytime you're cooking in a cast iron skillet, you want to make sure your skillet and your grease both are the right temperature. You put an egg in a cast iron skillet and it be too cold, everything sticks. You know, so make sure your iron is hot before you start, and it'll hold up well. And
for people who say, I don't have a cast iron skillet, do you say get one, or it can work without it? I mean,
I wished everybody would get one. You know, that and buy a cookbook. But a trick we use, and I don't guess it's a trick because we do so many when we cater, we may fix 350, 400 chicken fries, and that's deep fry. Deep fry, it doesn't sit in the grease as long, and it gives it a really thicker crust because it fluffs them. It's not setting on something, it's suspended in oil, and that way it makes it a little thicker.
And then what is the type of oil you're using here?
This is canola oil, I think, today. We use a creamy fry oil, an industrial fry oil that is got a high burn temperature. You want to get something that'll last, you know, 375, something like that.
How do you know when it's time to flip? How do you know when you're done?
Really, you go to see the crust on this edge will get the color you want it. And we may turn that again. This is a really hot skillet right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn her down just a tad. We may have to turn it back, but we want a good golden crisp crust on this, and hey, it'll be good eating.
And if you see the golden crust, does that also make you feel comfortable that the inside is cooked as well? Because obviously you can't cut into this and see if it's done. You'll ruin it.
Pretty close. You'll know by the texture too when you turn it, because it'll have that crispness. And it's usually, I'd say maybe 3 to 4 minutes to 5 at the side, depending on how big a piece your meat is. And these are about 4 ounces today. You get that crust to where it's got a little texture to it, to where it's not going to, and you can see this isn't flaking off. This isn't coming off of meat. It's not sticking to the skillet. So many times when you turn something, if it's chicken fried butter, it stays in the bottom.
So looking like we're ready to rumble.
We're ready to go.
Okay.
That is chicken fried steak that'll cut with a fork.
Wonderful.
So it's what's for dinner at our house today, darling.
It's beef. It's chicken fried steak. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Ked,
honey.
for teaching us
Thank you,
how to
sweetheart.
properly make one of the
you.
most fun dishes to say and to eat. Chicken
Oh, it
fried
is
steak.
that. Thank you so
much.
Oh, my pleasure.